right. Hello again, friends. Now, we've always worked on external files up until now, and we haven't made any style changes. So now it's time to make those changes. I'm sure you remember we created the HTML pages of the particular components, and we made constant changes on these pages. And we specified the path of this page with template URL in the components TS file. And now whatever we want to do to make changes, we were going to be coming into the HTML page, making the changes. So can we use an inline template instead of using an external HTML page this way? Of course we can. I'm sure you already knew the answer and we're a step ahead of me. So that means that we can use HTML code directly in our TypeScript file. So I'm sure you remember how we used nested components in the last lesson, and we then created this page. So this time I want to create the same situation with an inline template. So for this, I'll open the TypeScript file of this component. Okay, and look how we use the template URL here. So now I'm changing this to template. Now here we should choose one of the two, but just keep in mind that the component always has to have a template. So you got to pay attention to this. Because now I'm deleting this code we call inside the HTML file. I'll use this template code in the TypeScript file. So this code is also important that it is in single quotes because it's not an actual TypeScript code, right? Now see, when I save the changes, nothing changed on the browser. So here's how we create the changing template. All right, so previously we were writing HTML code on a different page. Now we can write HTML code on this same page. Of course, we have written very little code here, and we can certainly write all of this code in a single line. Now, if we were going to write more code, we could use multiple lines, and for this, we will need to use reverse quotation marks here. So now we can write more code into these lines. However, how much HTML code we need to pay attention to here, because if we're going to write less code like this, it might make sense to write this in a TypeScript file. You know that, right? Because if you're going to use too much HTML code, then it's going to be difficult to check for errors here. So we need to decide when to use an external file or an inline template. And as always, code should be prepared in a way that is not exhausting to us. So here we need to make the selection and add at least one template method. So we use one template in our component. So there you go, my friends. We've learned the importance as well as the use of templates in this lesson. So in the next lesson, we will learn how to work with styles. See you then. Bye-bye for now.